I was denied enrollment in medical university, so now I keep caged humans in my basement and do proprietary research. Uh, Wait a second. That's not true. That's not true. I'm just reading this, okay? Don't. I'm just reading a line, okay? I think it's related to this episode. Here we are in our Soviet Republic, and in this episode, you might notice this on screen here, we got a medical university being built. And the title for this episode, as it stands now, unless someone like really complains, is going to be Human Experiments Begin in LA. Yeah, that's what this episode's about. The medical university getting built and various other topics. But don't run away. Don't run away just yet. This isn't just about me playing a video game, and I'm showing off this game a little bit. I am giving some brief tutorials, but the bulk of this show is pure nonsense, okay? I talk about various topics. I watch the news. I see what's going on in the world, study history a bit, and have various topics for the show that maybe you'll be interested in. For example, I saw a documentary on this jurisdiction called Butchertown in San Francisco, the neighborhood of nightmares. You'll notice too, I'm wearing a shirt here that has like a skull on it because, it's in the theme of the episode. Human experiments, medical universities, Butchertown. I have a health topic. I figured out how to quit vaping. So another technique, I'll bring that up. I have a murder mystery book idea. It's an idea for a murder mystery, and it's good. I assure you, it's good. If you watch this and you're looking for something to write about, you want a topic for a book, this premise will be it. So the first person to see it and steal this idea will get to write a Stephen King caliber book. Bots continue to attack me. I'll tell you about that. A big conspiracy. There's a big conspiracy in this episode here. Yeah, wow. This is one of the biggest conspiracies out there that it's never even talked about. I'm going to bring it up. Plague detected in a certain place. I'll tell you where that is, where they found the plague recently. And a flesh-eating bacteria. I'm going to talk about a common flesh-eating bacteria you should be aware of, and a few other things, maybe some fake-ish jobs. Okay, so if some of those topics interest you, stick around. We will eventually get to them. Here we are playing our video game. We're in the future here. It's 1977. This is a medical university. Topic of the episode. If you follow the series, you always want to know what's happened lately. Last episode, we finished up our textiles industry here. We got our basic. It looks like things are running smoother now. We have some fabric in stock. We're just getting through winter here. It's April. We're getting ready to shut off the heat. Another thing that's happened here is I managed to finish this private water facility. Right, we have again. This is the more affluent part of Los Angeles. So unlike other parts of Los Angeles, they have private water here. Right now, the private water plumbs into this new water tower, and it's filled with water. So we are going to be very future-proof for water in the city, which will allow us to grow. We had to slow down with some development because we were kind of getting at the limit of what our little small water treatment facility could do. So now we've got a big one here. Technically, we could probably almost blow up this small one here. This is a public one, right, for all people, but private ones for rich people. But right now we don't have enough rich people to take our water because we haven't been bestowed with that honor just yet. How are we doing for economy? Okay, we do have a bit of a problem here, okay? Our purchasing power in rubles is now 5.2 million, it means we're just getting better and better. We are eventually going to be able to get rid of all these loans, I think. We have a major problem in US dollars. We're under a million now. Once you can't borrow in a currency, it's game over. The series ends. Well, more or less, unless I can figure out how to transition from a new money system. Because the capitalists and their interest that they want to collect, that they feel is just and deserved for their benevolence of, well beyond. There's the patent system, which gives you economic advantage for 20 years, but there's people that need it for hundreds of years because that's what they deserve, right? Most people in a position that could stop them make so much money that they wouldn't risk their career to stop them. So, long story short, is in this game, because it also you're required to make these interest payments. Eventually, our borrowing power will get to zero, and the lights will go out unless we can connect to another country to fund us. Like China. So that is becoming a bit of a concern. See, this medical university cost us some money. We had like 1.5 million borrowing power before I built this, and now we're down to under 900,000 right now. We got to ease up here. We got to get our money's worth out of this. Maybe it just ends up being medical universities aren't worth it. You'd think they would be, but maybe they're just overpriced. We got to, I saw a documentary over the weekend about these guys that explore into buildings that are locked, abandoned buildings, and they went into the old Los Angeles hospital. I think it's LA General or something like that. The amount of money that gets wasted in a hospital is insane, like just insane. Now, this is an abandoned hospital, and it had better services in an abandoned state than some apartment buildings I know of. That people live full time in conditions worse than this abandoned building, and they pay rent for it. You could still have electricity and various other things, although it was clearly an abandoned building. The caliber of stuff they have in it is ridiculous. So maybe the lesson learned here is we shouldn't be wasting so much on. There are some things I believe in the medical industry that are just unnecessary, like because of the imbalance of incomes in society. That because the medical professionals, like although they are arguably the most important in society, the relative amount they collect seems maybe a little bit high. Again, not as bad as like a businessman or a stock trader or an insurance broker or something like that. But like these are people that don't contribute to like economically, right? I guess when you have that much money, you got like frills that go with your job, and they're non-economical, right? If you've been watching the show, you learn a thing or two about money and interest and the nature of value, and crystallized time is money. That's the understanding it, and then it becomes a commodity. Then you trade it, supply demand, then adjust the value accordingly. And then there's all kinds of chicanery that occur in capitalist systems where artificial scarcity is created, and this therefore creates wealthier people, which they burden society by doing it this way. But that's how it's being used, and it's late stage, right? That's why we're running this communism simulator, because we are gonna, like, obviously at some point the system we use is going to be fully rejected. It's obviously flawed. Look at China. China's just study from the best. Like, if you're a pro athlete or any kind of competitive person, anyone who competes, you want to outperform, you want to be the best streamer, then learn from learn from the best. Don't study the failures, learn from the best. Clearly, you look at Shanghai, look at Beijing, look at Hong Kong, like Shenzhen, Chongqing. They're all of these cities are phenomenal cities, right? The maglev that connects them, it's clear just looking at the statistics, looking at videos in China, they are outperforming. Like, I've been to numerous cities in North America, in the Americas, and what's happening in the Americas is not as good. Okay, whatever system's being used there isn't as good as what I see in China. Okay, it's to learn from the best. So it looks like socialism's working better, or It's some sort of hybrid of capitalism, socialism mixed together they got in China, but I would study from them. And I mispronounced it there. It's China. That's how you pronounce it. We do have a gravel shortage, so I think we're going to ease up on construction for a while. I want to see our construction yard fill up with idle vehicles. Because construction, as you know, you have to do it for a reason. You don't just build things to build them. There's an operating cost of these, and if we can't build buildings that we can fully operate, then it's better to just build nothing. And that does lead into what potentially could be the next week's episode, a scrapping facility. A lot of our vehicles, frankly, are getting a little old because we bought them in like 1960. A lot of our fleet, they're 17 years old. We bought a lot of used ones too, so they're already several years old to begin with. And the vehicles we got in 1976, a year ago, they're a big upgrade. I think the 1976 series of trucks from the Soviet bloc, we got to start buying more of those because they're just better. They're faster and they move more stuff. And all your slots are limited. And if we're using our limited slots on low capacity vehicles, then we get things like traffic, lines here. Although our traffic has been good at our 2 custom houses. Just going to do a check on the foreign worker count here. As you know, the immigrants are a big source of value to the system. These are the type of people who might target immigrants and say, especially immigrants that work for their competitors, right? Like, let's say, this private water company here was competing with this other water company here, and the immigrants were working at this water company, then the one controlled by the rich would rather the immigrants not work for the competitors, right? That's the flaw, like one of the big flaws of capitalism, and why it's not tenable. That's why we see decline. The purchasing power has decreased over the years, and it's because of this principles like this. So yeah, obviously, anyone the lawmakers that are just letting the laws continue to operate this way, for this societal change to occur, this is going to require a lot of social-minded lawyers to get on board here. Okay, like I know there's a lot of lawyers out there who protect the interests of the rich, and you're going to be on the wrong side of history here. Just a spoiler, you're outvoted. The fundamental reason is you're going to see some of the most talented lawyers jump ship. They're going to go, you know what? I was pro-business, I was pro-corporate, and now I see the error in my ways. And that will happen, because they're going to look around them. They'll go to their, they'll walk down the street. It'll be a business that was vandalized or something from the riots or whatever. And they'll realize, you know what? I was wrong, that I misunderstood how capitalism worked. It's a very bad thing. And I'm going to become more pro-socialist. And I'll tell you personally, myself, I wasn't into, 10 years ago. If I was listening to myself now, I'd think I'd lost my mind. But I've become aware of how the world works, like first person. I've met these people. I understand how they think, and I understand how demented and selfish they are. It's the selfishness that's the big problem. They see no problem in making a top salary, but they don't ever consider, the luck of it, taking opportunities out of the hands of people that are comparably skilled. And that's why you do pay taxes, because there is a cost to you being on the grid, right? There's a cost to your existence. And if you work the hardest, you should get paid the most. If you did win the job, you should get paid the most. But the amount of difference between first and second is absolutely absurd. That needs to be fixed, and you got to acknowledge it's a problem and do something about it now. Don't be like, well, that's for the next generation. No, you're going to figure out in this generation. You're going to pay for it this lifetime, because you're a burden on the system. If you're a super rich guy who believes that you don't have to pay taxes. Yeah, so our cities, the rest of the city seems to be doing okay. not too many complaints on the buildings here. I do have actually another challenge in this episode, another thing to watch for as we go over our topics and as I rant. So in Houston, okay, as you know, we've developed our farming industry, and now we have this cattle industry, and then we developed this fertilizer industry. Okay, one final new building that I've finally decided to make is the mixed waste dump here for San Jose. So if we do a season 2 of this show, and we develop this area here in San Francisco, this will be one of the main dumps for it. But for now, it's going to service the Houston area. It's connected by trains, as you can see, by rail. And eventually it will bring our trash into our trash processing section of Dump City, which will obviously continue to grow if we add another city that provides garbage for it. However, there is a bit of a challenge for this episode. I screwed up the electricity. Okay, so if you're some of you playing the game, okay, so part of this show is gaming. I'm gonna play some games on the show. Okay, there's a reason I do this show. I have 10 subscribers at the time of making this, and it's because I'm playing video games. Okay, it does not matter how many subscribers I have. I will still make this show because it's objectively, I think, better than average at this point. The first few episodes of this show, I've been doing some editing, and they're like, it's hard to edit. Whatever, you got to learn somehow, right? Like I wouldn't recommend watching the first dozen. There's some highlights, there's some good parts. I think episode 13 is pretty good though. It starts getting good at 13. It sort of gets into its style. But I have a little mini challenge here in the game itself. Okay, so see, we got this little electric power thing here. Okay, it's providing electricity to these two buildings. Well, the dump, mainly. Is this one here, this building here, it gets power from here as well. So this is electrified. This is the water source. This one's not electrified. Okay, why? Because I built these lines here, and I wanted to see if I could chain off of a substation. You can't. This isn't bridged. These substations, they're just multiple ways to input. So if you're playing the game, FYI, you cannot bridge through these substations. Didn't know that. Just wanted to check. I kind of suspected you couldn't, but no, you can't. I cannot get electricity, so I have to reroute things. The problem is the free wires. This is going to get all knotted up. So what I need to do is I need this substation to finish up during the episode, and then it will provide most of the electricity I need. But then I want to blow up a line or two here. We might lose water for a little bit. I might even send a water truck over just for coverage. I'll do that right away, actually. So I need to then take down one of these lines here and reroute it. Like this, I think this line here I'll delete these two parts here, and I'll bridge it here, and then I'll run another line under here, basically. And see if I can do that without creating too much chaos. I know typically, as the show has evolved, and one of the things I've learned to make that makes the show more interesting is not to do too much like super tech work. That's like, there are specialists. This is more of a review show. I play a lot of games, okay, and I do get sick of games too, and I do plan for an end, okay. I don't go into as much detail, but I give you enough detail that I would assume that I have more potential Soviet Republic players than any other streamer. Like, meaning you're not a Soviet Republic player if you're watching this, okay? So that's the difference, is that I'm also sort of showing you a bit how the game works. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't, right? Again, this is the most realistic society simulator there is out there. Yeah, it's a super addictive game. Like, I assure you, you should consider taking some holidays if you ever start playing this, or get a job that lets you play video games at work or something, or just negotiate a better contract so you get paid more for less hours. Whatever. It comes see, comes saw, right? So, anyways, yeah, that's kind of what we're going to do in the episode. That's the history of the world, and now we'll get into it. And first things first, I mentioned I'm going to move a water truck over. Let's move this one over. And because we will need it as soon as that substation's built. And I botch up this whole region with my really, really stupid. I'm going to set the water source to the border right now, just for now. And we'll see how our universe... Oh, we should be actually watching it, not just in the middle of... Is it going to get built? It's almost built. Look how close. It's 90% built. I set it low priority. Like, this will get built during the episode. It's not much of a spoiler. If you've watched previous episodes, you know I can build this pretty quick. We've built buildings this big in an entire episode from almost nothing. So getting this last 90%, I set it to low priority just to make it a little bit interesting because I don't want it to done right away, the medical university, because that's what the episode's about, right? I'm gonna just do a quick check of things here. Not enough tutors. Well, we got 2 whole orphanages now, right? Oh my God, why are there no workers? Hold on, there's a problem here. There's a major problem. Do we have a fire station that's out of control? Where are our workers? How come there's so few tutors? What's going on here? Let's move this one up. Yeah, all our workers aren't going to work. What's going on? All the workers have stopped working. Why? They got no food? They got food. What's going on here? There's something bizarre going on in the game here. I don't know. I don't see this. Everyone stopped working. Oh, there's something wrong with the... Hold on. Hold on. There is a glitch in the game here. What's going on here? Something glitched in the game just now. All the sidewalks are... So something... How does this happen? Okay, so this isn't me doing this. This is something... This is bad programming or someone hacking or something. Let's load a save game. Something went corrupt here. Let's see if we can get... let's go a little bit. I was just bad. Like, nothing interesting happened in the first bit here. While it's loading here... And we've seen this before. I've seen that. We saw this with Asphalt where suddenly things went bad. And by the way, that's a pro tip. Always have auto saves on and keep an intermediate save on you now and then. So while it's loading, I want to talk about Butchertown. I just saw this documentary on one of the worst neighborhoods in San Francisco. And this was in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And basically it was a district that had massive amounts of butchers in it, and it was because these butchers, there was many health code violations because they would keep, like, meat around and carcasses and stuff, and most of the people didn't want these butchers located right in town. The rules to having these butcher shops were very strict in some parts of the city, but there was this one area called Butchertown where there was basically no rules. And I saw on YouTube, I saw a documentary on it, and it's straight out of nightmares, where there'd be literally like rotting carcasses on site. There was diseases going around, and I don't think it was the plague, but there was another one that was very common at the time, and it was being blamed on Butchertown, even though they weren't directly responsible for all the pandemics that started, but they were probably responsible for some of them. And it was just this whole area where people would like live with like rotting flesh, and people would have a bunch of cows in their living room, right? And it was just this unbelievable scenario of living conditions. You might see a little bit of it in the third world today. And yeah, this was in the early 1900s, even like 100 years ago. San Francisco had this district called Butchertown. I think it was on the south side of San Francisco, but you might want to look that up. It's straight out of nightmares. I'm having some difficulty in the game here. It looks like it went corrupt very early after loading it. Something happened. Okay, I have a big problem here. This could be a very something's wrong here. I might have to go back a little bit further in time. Okay, actually, you know what? That's actually just straight up strange. I can't even play the game. It could also be the game itself. I might have to completely restart it. The engine might have some sort of flaw in it. Okay, while we're doing that, I want to talk about another issue I've been having. I've been getting attacked by bots regularly. What kind of bots, you ask? Email bots. And the thing with them is they're getting very good. Some of them, I can almost not tell if they're human or not. And I'm reluctant to reply to some of them because it seems like they're acting like bots, but in fact, they're not bots. So I have to be careful with my emails now. I think more than half the people emailing me aren't people. I think more than half the emails I get come from bots. And that's usually, like scripts run by rich people, basically. That's what a bot is. But they're very, 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 very compelling. Some of them are very creative with their words. They use basic business lingo and psychology to make you think that they're humans. But again, I think most business people could be replaced by robots. Like some of them look like legitimate things I should be responding to, but if I have any suspicion that you're a bot, I just don't respond to you just because I don't trust you. And I guess that's just one of the things that we have to deal with in society is this overabundance of bots. Okay, we're gonna have to reload the game here. There's something wrong with the way it's loading. Like I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna shut down the game. I'm gonna quit to desktop. Just start up real quick here. Something went corrupt in the world there. So this wasn't bugged last I looked at it. Come on, let's see if we got... No, there's something wrong with the world. It's something completely bugged here. I don't know how we're going to play this episode. Yeah, everything's gone... All these deleted... They're all marked for demolition. And so no one can get to work. It's very specific, too. What's going on here? I don't know why it would do that. It's not like every path has done this. Just some of them have this demolition. Like this path's okay. I don't know why that would be. I'm gonna have to contact maybe the developers on how to get this quickly fixed. I might have to bring up my hex editor and meddle with things. Okay, so every save we have here just went corrupt recently. I don't think we can get around this. Actually, I don't know. This is another type of issue that even a regular streamer doesn't have to deal with. Yeah, how I almost want to start and reboot. Maybe we'll do this in 2 parts. I can't play this game right now. I think we'll do a quick pause, and I'll be right back with the show. And we're back. Okay, so I did a little bit of stuff here. I went offline for a little bit here. I basically went through the whole map and canceled all the demolitions that the game seemed to automatically script for me here. Back on topic here. We're going to run out of time in the show. I haven't done anything too much towards the economy, so I actually want to get started on hitting play here. We've fixed the issue because everyone was trapped in their house, so they couldn't go to work. But I want to get to daylight here because I couldn't even see that problem on the map at night. It was just hard to see what was going on. So yeah, we're going to work on this project here where I'm going to swap over. As soon as this electrical substation's done here, I'm going to swap over power here. See if we can do it cleanly inside of an episode. Oh, another thing too, I added a fuel storage here. So now our fuel's no longer being picked up directly from the grasshoppers here. It's going into this fuel storage. A little bit more efficient that way. Watch all the sidewalks be broken again. Okay, what's going on now here? Okay, this is another kind of issue. Oh, another thing too, I noticed when I was doing the fix-ups here, there was a lot of mud paths that were just missing as well. So I can't claim I got every single one of them because there was a lot. And you know what? It is possible it ran for like maybe a few hours, like in game time, with all those broken paths, and it caused that little blip, that notice we just saw. So hopefully that goes away. So we buy crops from Canada and then we process it and sell the food and clothing and alcohol. However, if we run out of money, Canada operates in US dollars here, right? We won't be able to buy crops anymore. And that will mean our entire industry is going to die if we can't borrow enough to get the raw goods to make profitable material. Again, that's what monarchs do, right? And we still live in that. It's real. You really are a serf. If you have a mortgage, you're a serf. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. And you are responsible for getting that money to your local nobles. And if you don't, they will take your stuff. They will repossess your home and your stuff. That's kind of what we live in. But if a new authority, like if BRICS takes over, and that because maybe there'll be more, like let's face it, the amount of money that the rates that they offer are much better. Not the highest one's 2.3%. We're over 3% US dollars here, so it's that extra 1% basically. So we're going to need a backup plan to get our supplies from China. Things like electronics and mechanical components, various things that we're currently getting from them. Actually, we're currently getting them from Canada because they're closer. But we can switch back to them as a supplier. Like remember when we had China Discount Supplies here as a distribution office, but it's been removed. We could put something like that back in. Actually, we'll probably have to once we're getting close to, bankruptcy. The volume of crops we'd have to bring in is basically unsustainable. Like, I want to do this by train, obviously, but it's going to take years before this rail line's built, right? So what it is we're going to create a new line here. And what it's going to do is it's going to pick up crops and it's going to unload the crops in this warehouse. And we're going to call that safety net. And this is for the day. Suddenly, we can't buy crops. Our entire industry is doomed, right? Then we can start sending our big covered hull trucks on that day. We're going to have to buy a few more, and they are good now. These new covered hulls we can get from the 1976 ones. But we want to have that safety net in a place here for the day we break ties with the greedy capitalists. Oh, and while we're here, I want to initiate that thing I said I was going to do. So we're going to send a couple of workers to do some demolition here. Let's just make sure we got a bus here that can do construction. So we got to do demolition and construction really quickly here. It's just a quick transition. This could go bad. Oh, I also will need, for this to work, we will need ourselves a big garbage truck. And see if we can find one that's not being used. It's not busy. Oh, okay, this one. Oh, this is perfect. We'll send this guy over. It will haul the garbage away. However, I want to send one more car out there just because I think just 4 cars isn't enough. So we'll just send one more just in case we're short. So that's all we really need for demolition. I could send a tractor, but these are really just small lines. So let's just do our surgery real quick. We've got to get some gameplay in here. Can't be just 2 hours of me talking about the scams of the system that the people in charge are purveying. So let's do our tactical demolition here. Oh, this could go ugly. But this is the time of the year to do it. This isn't harvest season, right? Like, we do have electricity now. Most of these buildings are powered right now. See, we're going to lose water for a second. That's the concern. And I did send a water truck over here to resume water. See, look at that. Even our trucks here. You know what? just for fun, let's get one of these trucks on our new route here, our safety net route. So let's do that, and now let's get our demolition done here. Let's do our little bit of demolition work. So we don't want this line here because this doesn't work. Yoink. And this one here. Okay, so it appears that I think these will both be removed. Right there. And this here we want to get rid of. Again, we're going to be without water supply for a bit. So be it. Let's make sure everything's correct here. Oof. See, I don't know if it's going to get that one. Just in case, I'll do that too. It's an extra second or two to put a bit more lines. So we're going to redo these lines. So this line here will go directly there. Actually, we won't even need this substation afterwards. This is actually not that complicated. I thought this was going to be trickier. Because this substation should give us the power to all our water stations. So this will cover everything. So we can just leave that one disconnected. So let's see how that works. We'll just hit play. And of course, borrow some rubles because they're very generous with their rates. And we're fully intending to do business with the socialists long term now that the capitalists are being escorted out of the city. Here's another thing, random topic, because we're waiting on our let's move this up. We're getting into the episode, and we can't miss our deadline of having the medical university done for the show. Let's go to medium here, because I actually want to do a little bit. I'll do a little bit of a tutorial on it afterwards. Let's just check here. We got an electricity problem. Oh yeah, it's because we see, I told you this was going to happen. So that means we're currently not producing water. And I think this will drain out for a bit. Like, I think it doesn't need electricity to pump out because I don't think, now that would be a flaw. We already proved there's no pumping that occurs at the treatment facilities. Therefore, I expect it to also passively just let the water flow out too, even if there's no electricity. Like, I think there's still going to be a bit of water in our reservoirs while we do this transition. Let's make sure our demolition office is assigned to it. Yep, it appears to be so. But on the topic of smart guys and doctors and stuff, I want someone, if you can help me out in the comments below, I'd like to know where to get those rectangular smart guy glasses for cheap, like, you know, $20 or less. That you ever see those glasses? They're like rectangles, like sideways rectangles. And like, I don't need glasses, okay? I just want these glasses to, if I do some shows with those glasses, they'll be the highest rated ones, because perception of intelligence is more important than actual intelligence. So just having those glasses, I think, will make me look smarter. And obviously, I wouldn't wear a shirt like this at the same time to go with it, but I probably could. Like, those glasses, humans are so easily tricked by a little bit of visual flair. Humans are just so gullible. And then you'll listen to any kind of nonsense that person has. So just as an experiment, if you know where to get some very low cost, $20 or less rectangular glasses that make you look smart, let me know. And then I can be like a book snob, right? Let's hit some play here. We got to get some action here. We're not going to be done on time if we dilly-dally too much. This demolition has to be quick. Okay, not having water for a little bit is an issue. We're kind of like, again, we've got a water truck that's on its way here, I believe. It will deal with any water problems. However, it's better not to need that truck. I've also been tidying up all these tracks in this area because it's kind of all done, to be honest. All the track between Canada and our new socialist California here it's kind of built up. So the only thing would be is more track needs to be built in this direction. So we're slowly connecting towards China to get away from the greedy East Coast people. the bankers, the ones who want the old money given to them for nothing, because they don't even like. The only thing that rich people invent nowadays is paywalls. That's that's what a startup is. It's the best paywall, and it's not good if we keep giving them money. If that's all they do, it's late stage capitalism. You gotta we gotta correct the salaries. We gotta correct the dividends. We've gotta correct the interest rates. Like honestly, someone should be going over all current interest rates due to the nation and cut them in half. That would probably be a good. This episode's got some problems. Oh my god. Okay, we got an earthquake. I'm supposed to hit pause real quick on an earthquake. Okay, that's distracting us a little bit here. But before we see how bad this one is, let's borrow some money. You know what? I was just talking about this the last episode or two. And I've been thinking about this. We're due for an earthquake. Man, this is a crazy episode. Like, how are we even going to be able to do our human experiments and our tutorial on the university with this happening here? Before I hit unpause here, okay, we set up our safety net. Great, great. This way, when we stiff the Americans, we'll be able to do business with our Houston farms directly. Get the government out of it. Okay. Oh, I want to tell you my idea for a murder mystery book. There are people who like crime novels. I used to read them when I was younger. There was a couple of them. It's interesting for a bit, but once, the genre can be overdone. But if you're writing a murder mystery book, I got an idea for a topic. And it's about a forensic investigator who lies. And they're like the final stage of record keeping. They do the tests, and it's in a community where there's not as much supervision over the details of the forensics, and they make up or they create false information, misleading information, and they have a co-conspirator that commits crimes. And because the forensic investigator, that person's not directly committing the crimes, they're enabling someone else to get away with crimes. I don't know if you could make a movie out of this, but I think you could do some sort of story out of this. Just this a very crooked forensic investigator. I don't think I've really ever seen that as a topic. It's just something you assume wouldn't happen. There's got to be some sort of oath to the honesty of it, and usually, much like if you develop software for casinos, for example, there's a lot of sets of eyes. If you want to put the secret codes, the question I get is, what's the secret code, right? It's like there are no secret codes because too many people look at it, but there are ways it is rigged. But again, it's the rich people who do the rigging. That's none of my business. But everything the rich people do is rigging. So what's new, right? I don't know how it would unravel. You'd have to come up with a way to figure out, right? They'd eventually have to get suspicious. Parallel research indicates all this forensic data is inaccurate, right? And maybe a connection to the criminal committing the murders or whatever. That's how they figure it out, right? So just an idea. I think that would be an interesting topic. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save this, and hopefully this earthquake isn't too bad. I am going to immediately, so everything in our economy is going to come to a stop here. This is how you deal with an earthquake. So everyone's currently employed. Oh, one of our fire station trucks is it's getting repaired. So this will put out fires very instantly. We got all our other factories will probably have shortages. They'll complain about tutors and whatnot. Wah, wah. Right? They don't have, the kids are going to be crying. I don't know if that's a pleasant sound. I apologize. I listen to some of my whine noises, and I don't like listening to myself whine. I like the words of the whining, but I don't like the actual whining sound. I don't know if the earthquake's going to, I don't think it affects Houston. I don't think it does. We have a fire station here. Maybe just in case for a second or two, we'll put it up. But let's see how this goes. Let's see what kind of damage we get. Oh, building's on fire, building's on fire. I want to see. Oh, look at that. That was another thing we were doing. Again, I'm going to draw out the damage to the earthquake, and I hope you're watching, like you're a Soviet Republic player and you know how devastating a earthquake is to your city, and you're just wanting to see how organized this city is. And I've been doing this for over like several months now. I'm getting a bit more skilled at streaming, and if I let you see what happens next, you won't listen to as much of the rest of the show. Even, and you still might want to hear this other topics, but the outcome of this earthquake, I'm again, given we're halfway into the episode, I can't save this for the next episode. But this has to happen in this episode. Let's have a look at our university. Okay, we just discovered, I'll just show you what we discovered. But what we just finished was this stage of pollution filtering. I don't know when they get this benefit. I might have to do some reconstructions in them, but we're working on our pollution, so we have that technology because we put our heating plants way too close to the city. Now we got to pick a new one, and honestly, I thought we were gonna not have an earthquake, and I didn't think the world was gonna go to absolute crap that fast. If we stop buying steel from Canada, we're going to need to recycle our own. I'm thinking we should start working on these. They are a little bit of work to discover them. 1,600 work days. Let's do the steel recycling. We know steel, it's pretty expensive, right? And the sooner we can recycle our own, the better. I don't think we'll need aluminum recycling quite yet, but let's do steel recycling. And let's go back down to the minimum amount of researchers because we need everyone else getting educated. We don't have enough professors. And that's another topic for this episode too. I told you about this. There's a plague detected. And this actually came just at the right time, this notification of new technology. And you know what's plaguing us right now? Stupid people. We're plagued by, look how many students here waiting for officials to get educated. Just as many as there are educators. These people, we don't have enough universities. Likewise here, there's 31. I go get a job or something if you can't get educated. However, as you know in this episode, to solve our plague of stupid people, in addition to our technical and our communist university here, we're going to build our medical university. And this is where this will solve the problem of the plague of stupid people that we have just by building this. That's what this episode is about. That was the plague I wanted to talk. The plague was in dumps, or it was actually in, I guess, Los Angeles technically, not in Dump City proper, which is over here. The plague was stupid people in Los Angeles. Too many of them, nothing to do. And we're going to solve that with making a university to make them less stupid. So that's the plan. We have one other quick thing here. While we're on the universities, when your students go to school, from what I understand, they gain the loyalty of their teacher, your teacher. So it's good to have loyalty restrictions, especially in the school, but then at the university level as well. Further that, assume they have to at least get, say, 40% through school, but then I'll make it 60 or I think 65 or 60% is fine. It looks like we were able to get enough staff at 65. And if you don't have a radio station, obviously you can't do that. But this is how you ensure your educated people are also loyal, because educating people is more expensive than just having dumbasses show up for work, right? There is a cost to the education. So you want to make sure that education doesn't waste. I guess that's another critique on the Western nations where you have to pay for your university. That gives you the freedom to leave anytime soon, right? Because you paid for it. You don't owe the state anything. And most Western nations, you owe it nothing. You can just leave whenever you want. And it's usually a wise idea for some people. Let's see what happens. Let's go. It's earthquake time. Let's see the results. We got research. Hold on. Okay, let's check it out. We got fire. Pumping station. Nothing's coming to that one. That's terrible. What's this? This house? I don't want this to go to this one. I want this to go to a different job. How do I change it? How do I change it? I don't care if that house burns down. Is there a way I can change where the fire station's going right now? I don't want to put some of these fires out there. I'd rather have that guy putting out... Let's see if there's any going to really small houses. Let's see if I can cancel them. Okay, that's a kind of a critical one. Kind of critical. What's this one? Okay, that's also... No one's going to that one either. What's this? Okay, this one... good, don't go to that one. That's not needed. This one here. Yeah, don't care about that one either. We got a lot of fires. This might be a pretty big earthquake. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got multiple pages of fires here. Okay, well, can't say this isn't an action-packed episode. Not as much playing, but this is how you deal with the emergency scenarios. Okay, so imagine if earthquake hit LA during a riot. It would just settle everyone down, right? I don't think there's any way for me to stop reassigning the fires. It's going to put them out in the order it can. We'll just play it out. We'll see what happens. Here we go. See who lives, who dies. This is an earthquake's real-life earthquake. This when this happened earlier in the series, we didn't even have our fire station ready. So this time we're ready. Let's make sure this guy's going somewhere. Yep, going to a useless house. And I'd rather it go to... I don't want it to go out to a village house. I wish I could send it back. How do we stop? Like, it'll put these little houses out fast. Actually, there's no big structures. None of our... It's only the heat. Yeah, so we didn't get hit by... Like, a lot of structures on fire. See, this is a kind of a... Like, okay, that one's being dealt with. But this one here... This needs a fire truck. We need to send fire trucks to it. So I'm going to say, go there. Oops. To there. And I think there was another heat exchanger. Yeah, here. We'll send 2 to each. And I'm just going to look for other fire stations. Okay, so it is localized. Okay, that means over here. Yeah, there's no fires over here. So we do not need this many. We can go back to, let's go back to 4. They're going to put those fires out instantly with this, like, all hands on deck, right? But I don't want to lose a heat exchanger. That would suck. Well, that one seems to have gotten fixed. Wow. Wow. Our fires just went out super fast there. Seem to have one there, and I think we're okay. Wow. I don't know how, like, that seemed abnormally fast. What? Maybe the rain. Maybe we just got some rain. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Dealing with an earthquake in the Soviet Republic. All right, that was quite interesting. This is a very unusual episode. There's no ebb or flow to it. What's the point of even choosing a topic here? But we do got to get our medical university built, and we're running out of time here. So it won't get built if we have 219 people employed as firefighters. I'll tell you that much. When you have your entire city employed fighting fires, they don't do anything else. That's not a very good economy. This is such good traffic. If this was terrible traffic, I would be ashamed of making this show, but I feel that there are lessons to be learned in this world. You know, track going through a city. I think going around a city and poking in. I think that's the lesson to be learned. It's greater net productivity, I think. Okay, let's have a look here on our little project. Is it all torn down? How do we know it's torn down? Okay, the cars are in the parking lot, and the truck, where's the truck? Where is the truck? Okay, I don't know what depot this guy's going to. Is it going in here? Oh, he is. Okay, there we go. So this guy's still got to come and do some hauling. This might take a while. Scrap is in place, but it has to be picked up. You know what we'll do? Maybe to speed this up a little bit, we'll grab 2 trucks. We'll send another one over just to get this done on time. Okay, we got a big empty. Let's send this guy here. Oops. So we'll move this car to, we got some idle parking lots here and there in the world. And we'll move it there, and we'll move this guy in there quickly. So that will allow us to begin our next stage here very quickly of rebuilding it. We'll check that in a few minutes. How is our medical university coming out? 98% at medium priority. Not rushing it too much. And I still have some topics for this show. But I do have to talk about a flesh-eating bacteria that's been discovered. And it's called Necrotizing Fasciitis. And a friend of mine came across it and almost lost his leg. Like literally very lucky to be alive, in fact. Lucky to be alive, lucky to have his leg because of this thing called necrotizing fasciitis. And apparently in cities of 1 million people, every month you'll have a few cases of this. And it's basically, it's this bacteria. In my friend's case, it was like on the side of a pool. It was just something he thought nothing of. And it got infected. It's probably just general poor sanitation. And it could happen anywhere. This wasn't even in a notably dirty place. This was a clean place, but there was one troublesome area. And it's like an RNG, whether you get this. So it's been around since the 1800s, I think. It's been documented. And it's from what I understand, it's a flesh-eating bacteria that exists everywhere. And it's there all the time. And you're never really safe from it. It could exist in your house. It could exist in any public place you go to. And I was not aware of this. And if it wasn't for this incident and the hospital, that was very good. This wasn't the Human Experiments Hospital that did this surgery. This was a good hospital. And he kept his leg and he's still alive. And just something, yeah. If you ever see like weird looking mold or like, generally whenever you see something that looks really, really sus, yeah, stay away. Okay, that was on topic of the medical university. We'll do the big conspiracy and a fake-ish job. If you're ever wondering why you can't attach a helicopter port to your fire station, it's because you need to research air traffic. It's a very specific technology you need for it. It's actually in the communist research tree. Seems strange for helicopters. Air traffic study, and then you got to do firefighting helicopters. Then you can attach a heliport to your fire station. I've been frustrated so many times by this, like why? And just a quick explanation, just you got to research it, and it's in the communist university, so just a heads up on that. Okay, let's check out our demolition project here, see how it's going. These things are pretty quick once they get started. Like the vehicles, you know, they move at a fair pace. Let's see how much debris is on site here. So we have 2 lines that were being torn down. Okay, it would have actually, I probably deleted one more post than I needed to. Oopsies. Like it doesn't really matter that much. You know, these are still a single trip. I wish you could mix these aggregates in the same truck, but they're going to have to do a load either way. Actually, let's have a look at our safety net line here we talked about. See how it's doing. See if there's any hiccups with it, our inaugural truck. It was doing nothing anyways. So what's it doing? Okay, so it's going to... how come... Okay, wait a second. Oh my god. Okay, so what it did was... It tried to deliver to the warehouse, but it was full. So it didn't unload at all. And this is why this will have to be done. Like, it'll be different once there is no grain. Let's just further clarify. This is to load and unload. And I don't think we're going to bring any goods back. That's exactly why you test things. It has a flaw, and it needs some rules. It probably needs to be moved by distribution office. Okay, Probably a distribution office in conjunction with a steady line because we're going to have to move a lot of crops. That's a long distance, a lot of goods. So we did that. We tested it out. So let's hit play and let's check it on our university here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Do we just open the floodgates here? We have no restrictions in the medical university. Oh, it doesn't have water. How can it not have water? Oh, we don't have a water supply. I didn't even build one. There should be one here. Oh, don't tell me it's just out of range. It is just, it's like got to be 1 meter out of range. Uh-oh. Well, that water truck will be... We have some water trucks here. We'll have to deal with that between episodes. It takes a while to set that up. That's why we have our water trucks, though. Yeah, so we'll deal with that afterwards. Maybe not the best medical university, but now... right now, I want it so that our students can be any loyalty in this one. Let's just go with slightly lower loyalty for this one. So this works like the other universities, our medical university. And this is the first time I've actually built one. Last time in a realistic mode, I never got this far. Very expensive. I don't know if I will... Let's just check the balance of things here. Yeah, we are $500,000 poorer than we were, so that was quite costly. Now, right now, as I can see it, the biggest benefit to the medical university is its ability to educate people. So, to be honest, I want to like significantly lower the number of students getting educated in our technical and our communist university and focus more on technology growth. But the medical university, it is a much bigger university. It has, instead of 30 staff here, we have room for 50. And honestly, I don't think the technologies are as good, like at least at this point, now that we have a lot of core technologies. But it's still also good for research. So what I was hoping to pick was actually some preventative medicine. I'm not too worried about COVID and stuff like that. I think I might do a pandemic episode in the future. Actually, this might be good here because pollution is our... Let's do vitamins. You know what? Never mind this. We'll get to the preventative medicine later. Let's go with vitamins here. So just quick summary of the technologies you want to look at here. Like the whole alcohol mechanic of the game. Shouldn't be promoting too much alcohol to begin with. From what I understand, it isn't. Like it's kind of a temporary stopgap mechanic. When you do other things poorly, alcohol kind of substitutes. Kind of makes sense. When you run out of things to research, probably worth researching. Then there's increase and decrease birth rate. I don't know what the purpose of decreased birth rate is. Too many people, you don't have enough school infrastructure, but why spend resources? It seems like a very, very net negative economic decision. So maybe there's a few cases for it. Increased birth rate. That's another thing once we have the other technologies sort of developed, like we want to make our workers happy, loyal, healthy, and then we want them to live as long as possible. Then we want to create them as fast as possible. So that's sort of how you like layer. It's like you build a character and WoW. You want to. It's not just the damage. It's the damage and crit. Sometimes you need more crit. Sometimes you need more hit. Sometimes you just need more damage. So that's sort of how you stack your stats in your Republic, right? Vitamins looks very good, especially given the pollution problems we have in Los Angeles. Weatherproofing, this might be great for heat resilience. That I definitely think we'll grab shortly. And then there's the whole preventative medicine tree here, like heart and brain, big deal, and first aid. So these will make you live longer, right? So this reduces ambulance call times, just less stuff to worry about, right? Less deaths, basically. Statistically, I don't know exactly what it breaks down to, but it's a net positive once you have it. And then it's applicable indefinitely once you've discovered it. So it's usually worth getting these upgrades. I understand there can be pandemics, so depending on, like if we do get a pandemic, then this might be a little bit more useful. But I think right now we're going to go with vitamins because Pollution is our biggest enemy in our state, and let's go with 5 here. And then as we see our students in the other universities start going to our medical university here, we'll then increase researching on the other things, because we have tons of technical things we got to research here, and unless we get those finished up, we're not going to finish. Like, we're not going to have the technologies to be profitable. So yeah, that's a bit of an overview of the medical university. Again, third choice university, but at a certain point, you kind of need it. You don't want to build an additional one of the other types, because these other technologies and just the size of it. And as you can see here, we were plagued with stupid people in both universities, of people with nowhere to go. But now they'll be able to go into our new. Look at that! All these people suddenly got jobs. We're gonna have to get some water there. Okay, another unrelated game topic here. It's the ACP. Have you heard of the ACP? This wasn't discussed earlier. And it's the American Communist Party. And they've been showing up in my feed on YouTube a lot more. So that tells me a few things about communism. Number one, it tells me YouTube's pro-communist. Number two, it tells me there is legitimate options for communism in the US. I don't know if they're the number one thing. All I say is, once there's 3 viable options as candidates for election in the US, that's exactly what the rich and powerful want you to do. Some of these socialist organizations could actually be funded by capitalists just to fragment the socialist vote. So is ACP the party? I don't know. But are they showing up in my feed with their rallies and what's going on lately? Yes. And of course, obviously pro-worker here. I'm pro-common sense. You do some work, get paid. I did a video on the principle that hedge funds should be illegal. I think I'll reclip that and audio fix it. This is one of the earlier episodes, but making money, you couldn't buy stock in a company and then you could sabotage it and make money. And that's easy. Anyone can sabotage anything. If your business model involves sabotaging things, first off, shame on you. Second off, a shame on the system that allows it. And why are hedge funds still illegal? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We got our medical university built. Now the other challenge is, are we going to have our little stupid project here ready on time too? We got 2 trucks. 2 of them hauling little bits of garbage, hopefully not too far away. That is actually something in a future episode. We're getting very close to needing this waste treatment facility. Our stockpile's been full for a while. I need to have over $1 million in borrowing power before I consider that. Oh, my new solution. On the topic of health research, medical knowledge, look at this. See, they're all getting their knowledge now, and there's no restriction. Maybe I should make 65% for this one, and the other ones have higher restrictions. So now they're getting smart. We're getting rid of our plague of stupid people. Yeah, let's just do that. So this will, they'll instantly get any, I don't know, do they go right to 65? That'd be curious. And this one here will go down to 60. And 60. And then we'll do a little bit more research in these ones. This has no restrictions for students, so they should be jumping in here. They should be, that is a lot of students. So they are, in theory, getting, I maybe prefer, actually, no, I don't prefer any. This seems to have tons of space here. Tons of space. Actually, you know what, why not? Why not? And we're researching vitamins, so that'll be useful. That'll make us even more pollution. Let's see how our productivity is good here. Are we running out of supplies? Do we have enough fabric? It's half full. Seeing these buildings half full is ideal. Okay, we got a little too much alcohol. We got landfill is taking few too many beers at the brewery here, and people were chatty Cathy's about that. You got to see Beerfest. Get that. Okay, that's a good movie. Beerfest is one of the top 10 funniest movies ever made. Just gonna say that. It's better than Super Troopers. A little bit better. Just it's just so corny. Same writers. There's so many classic scenes in Beerfest. So definitely watch Beerfest. Oh yeah, how I quit smoking. Or how I quit vaping. I started smoking. Okay, that's my tip for how to completely quit vaping. Start smoking. But I only smoke half a cigarette a day. So that's my health tip to you. It works fine. I get the nick rush out of half, and I don't. I find the problem with smoking is you at a certain point you're just smoking, and you're like, ugh, this doesn't even do anything for me anymore. But if I have half a smoke a day, then I'm good. And this prevents me from vaping. And as you know, popcorn lung is a concern with vaping. So I don't know what the solution to popcorn lung is. So just in case, I'm trying smoking for a bit, and then I'll go back to vaping. I should probably quit altogether, both of them, for a while. Oh well, c'est la vie, right? You got the stress of life. Maybe the medical universities will make things a little easier in the future. Some of the things I do are funny. Some of them are jokes. Most of them are jokes. But some of them are serious, but not that serious. They're more, political or just common sense. A problem with society questions that are tough. Good intending people cause lots of problems in society. But are we going to get this done on time? I don't know. I think so. This is like tearing down a power line. How hard is that? I think half of it's been torn down. We're just going to break off this other half. We got this water truck doing things. See, it's doing its job. See, good thing we brought it over. I'll tell you, this Coal Express building. Oh, and we got one of the new 1976 model dumpers here. Look at this thing. 95 kilometers an hour, 17 tons capacity. So this is kind of why I want to build a scrapyard. If we can borrow up to $1 million, I'm gonna have to play quite a bit, I think, between episodes to get this economy working a little bit better. Then we got to start scrapping them and buying these new trucks because it's so much faster and it's so much higher capacity than our old trucks. Plus the wear and tear difference. It's definitely, we got to make room for that shortly. Oops, I spilled a drop of coffee there. I had to reset my coffee schedule in this episode because while troubleshooting all the paths I had to build in between recording here, I had to go through every single one of these things and cancel it. It took a long time. But it looks like our save's good now. You know what? Just in case, I'm going to save again. It's in a good condition right now. And we're near the end of the episode. So at this point, I'm comfortable with the edits. Let's just check a few other things here. Ooh, we're low on bricks. A little low on bricks. I'd like to see a little bit more bricks in that. I think that's good enough, though. Okay, so this is what we're seeing here. We're starting to see no work to do. And this is what I want to do, because no work means we can instead not spend money. And we should make money. Okay, make money. That's the thing here. So we're going to send a few vehicles over there for repairs. Here's something I'm going to say. And this might offend a lot of people. I want to preempt with what I'm about to say with a caveat, okay? So educating people and dealing with people's health conditions are two of the noblest and most important things you can do in society. If you don't educate someone, give someone a pair of scissors and teach them that's how you cut the lawn, right? But if you don't ever show them what a lawnmower is, they'll probably never cut the lawn. And that's because of knowledge. And one of the most important things you can do is teach people, and specifically teach people about their health and how to deal with actual, emergencies and to preemptively prevent problems in the first place. So I'll say that with a caveat in this statement. But education for profit is a scam. And what it does is, if you think about it, let's say I could teach someone how to be a dentist and do some basic dental work that would save someone's teeth. but I required you to pay me some money up front for me to teach you this, right? This would be problematic, okay? This is obviously selfish and not good for society if people behave that way, but that is how it works. All education in Western nations pretty much has to be paid for. And this might be a shocker, probably in socialist nations who can't believe that people would have to pay for their own education and then not be guaranteed a job from it. I think from all logical perspectives, like even from an economic perspective, you're better off having free education for all. If you want to learn how to be a dentist, you may learn how to do it. However, there needs to still be control, just like capitalist societies, socialist societies have limits to enrollment. So it is a competition to get in. Okay. But it doesn't really make sense that you should pay once you get in. It should be free because we don't want to have any barriers in having the most intelligent, skilled people doing the most important work. Okay. It is a bit of a scam. And it's not just like, it's just not medical universities that do this. All education facilities do this. And what's the, like, you can get a degree in engineering, or you can become a lawyer. You can get all kinds of certifications. You can even become a certified accountant. Certified by who? I don't know. Who's doing the certification? Probably some sort of capital intent, not so honorable person in charge. But the real problem isn't so much this idea that Western nations charge money to educate on knowledge. The real problem is capitalism itself. The very fact that it's the only way money can, operating funds are allowed to get in there. You know, a few good lawyers go in, they say, you know what, tax rates double, wealth tax, people with reported net worth over $10 million, it's time to collect. And that's how you gain resources too. You be a good lawyer and you get it from the thieves, right? The people who pretend that they did all the work. You know, in fact, even a lot of these super wealthy people aren't even average intelligence. If you were to verify their genuine genius, you'd find out they're idiots. And that would be, at the end of the day, the case you'd make against them. That the policies of the system, the way capitalism is right now, just doesn't work. That the pool of money for essential things, knowledge, should not be behind a paywall. You create a paywall, like you're it just, and if you're involved in this process, think about what you're doing. Think about it. You know, it is probably in your ecosystem of peers, no one ever pointed this out. But you look to the left and look to the right of you, and if there is a criteria for any kind of professional industry where certain academic standards are required, but there's a big financial barrier to get those academic standards, your peers aren't necessarily the smartest people. Flat out going to say, because of the nature of capitalism, there's all these random paywalls. There's such a spectrum out there that I know plenty of geniuses that are very, very poor. That's just because they were born in an unfortunate situation. And if you're going to have these paywalls for universities, any level of it, even if it's just even if just become like, if I want to become an accountant, that should be free. I shouldn't have to pay to do that. That's ridiculous. You're all like, then it's kind of like you're filtering other rich people to only be allowed in that profession. The more expensive you make it. And then there's no guarantees. So another fix for it too is, if you do want to do a intermediate fix, is universities could, instead of collecting tuitions, and if there is no lawyers willing to tax the rich sufficiently yet, make it so that universities only collect from people that get a job in that related profession over a certain salary amount. Otherwise, they don't get paid. This would ensure the universities are very good at getting you a job shortly after that's relevant to your expertise. Let's say you're an old school person, you graduated a long time ago, and you like completely forgot the port of your life, and you've already collected over many years. Well, to be honest, if you've actually been very successful in your career, you're not really owed anything back at this point because you've already been given that the job it advertised it would give you. And if you were paid above average, you have no complaints. However, if you did graduate, say over 5 years ago, and the salary you've been collecting has been below average since then, yeah, you could probably make a small claim against the universities. That's just one way I would deal with it. But yeah, education for profit is a scam, and I think it needs to come to an end. The clock's up there. We got to finish our project. Maybe I shouldn't have paused it while talking. We only got a little bit of this mixed waste to go. I think we'll be able to do this and start the new cables right away. How are we doing for water? Oh, it's all gone. We're gonna start having issues. Oh my god. And our big trucks are being used for, it's without drinking water. Yep. So let's just do one last quick check here of our power lines. And we'll see how this Frankenstein experiment of an episode comes to an end here. Okay, we just have a little bit of mixed waste. One of these guys. Okay, wait a second. How come they're not taking them all? You know what it is? I'm sending the mixed waste to there. Oh my god. No, it's supposed to go to here. So this could have been done super quick. I just didn't notice that. Oh my god. So we had an issue there with our mixed supplies and our mixed waste. And we couldn't finish this. There we go. I think that's it. That's it. Let's see if we can get our new line in. Start it here. There we go. I think it's resolving itself. Yep. And we want to go to there, I think. Right there, I think is perfect. And there. That looks nice. And we'll build that. And we'll make sure China works on it. And maybe, they can actually build these almost instantly. They're that fast. Like once you get a small crew, and that's the only thing they're working on. I think we'll call that an episode once it builds right in front of us. Okay, so that will then give this power, and then we'll have water power again. Wow. Okay, what happened? Let's just double check here. We had a truck here on safety net. Where is it? Oh my god. Oh, I didn't assign it. I forgot to reassign it. Okay, well, it's still trying again. We'll see how this works. The trucks aren't doing anything. Oh well, oops. We'll just do real quick, just gotta play a little bit more game. Not enough gameplay in this episode. I just want to make sure the simulation is realistic enough for final approval to the government that the switch is required. Okay, now it can't fit. That's insane. Well, I'll do that. I'll, see, I had to actually rebuild that path because of the glitch that was happening. Okay, I guess we can't do that quite. I don't want to deal with this right now. That should be able to fit. That obviously was fitting there before, now it's not there. Unless I don't think I had a big one. I don't think a big one would fit. This one's the most likely one to fit. It's the smallest one. And there's something with the terrain here. Look, it's actually all red. I don't know. We'll see. Alrighty, so let's check it up. How's our power line doing here? We got some flat panel deliveries. One more delivery. I think we're almost done here. I think it's going to be done. It's going to take a truck a few seconds and we'll be up and running. Let's just check here. We got electricity. No water though. That is a big problem. Unfortunately, there's only one construction office that can reasonably do this. And it's probably quite busy right now. As soon as the bus leaves for it though, as soon as this bus leaves, that's when it will get fixed. And let's put it right there. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll watch this one. It's actually becoming a longer episode, but lots of stuff going on and lots of stuff. It was controversial. Every episode's controversial. It was informative. It was scary. Was it boring? I had just a couple of points where I didn't know what to say. What do I say? You know, when when your entire world glitches out on you? What are you supposed to say? Like you're doing a TED talk and suddenly someone's controlling your audio visual and it's not you. It's like, okay, how do I present this and look professional, right? I wonder who'd be behind such things of trying to subvert the professionality of something. I don't know, maybe a capitalist? Possibly. The whole system's so ridiculous. We're going to look back at this in a century from now. We're going to look back at this era and go, this was arguably one of the dumbest eras in the past several centuries. It doesn't add up. Like, why would people tolerate such, like, and it's going to come down to the fact that a lot of people are just unaware of how it works, that they were not basically fully educated on the benefits of a socialist society, and they're gonna go that, like, it's the lack of information. And then there's just this bus, How are we doing here? Yep, I think we're all full up on. Oh, we got to send a covered hull over. Send a covered hull over. I think we were repairing it. Like, it's okay to be over here, but it has to be here. Oopsies, gotta get some money. Borrow some money from the bankers, because hitting print on a machine is, like, the people who make the money, like the actual scientists behind it and the geniuses, they are, they are honorable, but the people who administer it, they're criminal. But that's just the way it goes. And there are some lawyers involved in that. You can be you can create illegal contracts and get people to sign them, and they don't chain down from the rule of law, like from the standard rule of law. There's a standard on all things legally. Like there's implied copyright on things, for example. Okay, the bus should be on the way. This is it. The bus, all the parts are there. Where's the bus? Oh, we're gonna miss it. There's the bus. We got enough money? Let's actually just borrow. Yeah, I think we can go. Let's just wait one more day here, and then I'm gonna grab some money, and then I'm gonna sign out here. I think there's 2 minutes to go, and that's because now that our power line is going to get built here by our workers. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if it's going to get built. We only have 16 workers and 7 work days. Oh yeah, it'll get built. I think they give you 1 work day automatically. Where is it? Oh yeah, they're going this way. That's the way they get to it. Okay, here we go. So I think we're down to the last few minutes. We're going to have power and water. And see, look, it's getting built. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I guess that's our human experiments begin in LA. Next episode, we might have to be going a little bit more austerity measures. Maybe we'll be scrapping some stuff to cut costs, becoming more efficient. Maybe some of our technologies will improve. We seem to have a working Houston again. Nice, simple repair that took no time. I think that's that. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week.